Hello designers and welcome to January 2023 Brightlayer UI Design Release. My name is Huanyu Huang, Senior Designer at Brightlayer UI.
We are more than excited to bring you our latest design updates on Brightlayer UI. This includes 3 new guidelines for our documentation site, for how to design app logos, how to prepare, request, conduct, and interpret UI design audits, and how to use buttons. We added a Hall of Fame page on our website too, featuring a list of Eaton digital products designed and developed using Brightlayer UI. And last but not least, for our Figma users, we added 4 different components to help you design and prototype faster. Without further ado, let's jump into it. First, let's talk about the guidelines. We added a new guideline to help you understand how to design for product logos or app icons, as they call it. Here's what the page looks like. From the beginning, we show a few examples of existing app logos used at Eaton. We talk about typical elements used in a logo design. We walk you step by step for how to design it, all the way from choosing the correct tool, to download the app logo template, to picking a correct background that reflects your brand identity, to selecting a proper glyph, that is the inside content of the logo, to how to use the bottom badge, or more precisely, how not to use the bottom badge. And finally, some requirements to export your logo, as well as some product platform specific requirements. For example, the Android might have slightly different requirements than Apple due to the way that their app logos are pictured and rendered on their home screen. And finally, for people who would love to get into the weed, we have these design specifications that tells you precisely what pixels and what color to use. The second guideline we released talks about how to request, conduct, and interpret a UI design audit. Ever since Brightlayer UI started to conduct design audits in 2020, we've witnessed an increasing number of teams interested in having design audits conducted on their products. Some of these audits are done by myself. Others might be conducted by some contractors or designers from the Studio Blue team. So we think it's a time to put together a proper guideline to show how these design audits are typically done and what are some best practices for it. And here's what the page looks like. It walks you through step by step, all the way from the very beginning, how to prepare for an audit. For example, update all your packages to the latest version so that your designers are always working with the latest theme, to maybe doing a self-check. Maybe you can identify some problems that maybe you don't even need an audit, as well as some pro tips on requesting for an audit to maximize the efficiency of communication. We also talked about the severity, how we tag, how we label an issue to be severe, top severity, high severity, medium severity, and a low severity. We talk about how teams should interpret the design audit results, how to prioritize them, what to expect for next step, etc. We also included a special sections for auditors, for the designers who will be conducting the audit. What are the common deliverables? Where should you be paying the attention to? That you should be educating the team instead of just simply telling them what's right or wrong. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see 2 real-life examples that show you what a real design audit looks like. The third guideline we added is a button guideline. Buttons are just like icons. They're so simple, yet so many people misuse it. Here's what this page looks like. It's just like a typical design patterns page where we talk about the different variations of a button from the most prominent one all the way to the least prominent one. We talk about icons. We're talking about floating action buttons. We talk about variations in colors and shapes. We talk about toggle button groups, groups of buttons. We talk about how to use the button, where to place it. We talk about the behaviors of button, how it interacts with the user, and how it interacts with other components. We talk about how buttons might behave differently on devices such as mobile phone, or maybe a tablet where buttons are typically larger. Finally, for people who are really seeking for pixel perfection, we offer these design specifications for people to better understand the button dimension, as well as some developer recommendations at the very bottom of the page. The second item on our release list is this Hall of Fame page. This is a web page featuring a list of Eaton applications designed and built using Brightlayer UI. Take the first item, for example, Brightlayer Industrial. Here we list out its name, Brightlayer Industrial, the product about page. This application has both web app and the mobile apps. We list out its App Store download link, Google Play download link, as well as a link to its web portal. We listed its official description. We talk about its market and what device is it designed for, or in this case, it's just for general devices. And for developers who are interested in how the app is built, we also talk about what technical stack it's using. In this case, is React Native and React. And last, we feature some critical user experience in this app that we think really helps this app stand out from other applications inside Eden. So in this case, Brightlayer Industrial features real-time monitoring as well as alarms. Now, if you would like your application to be listed on this list, or you simply want to get to know better how these other teams are building their application, please reach out to Brightlayer UI team, and we're more than happy to make the connection for you. And last, we have the Figma components. The first Figma components for today is the app logo template. This goes with the new app logo design guideline that we released earlier. It's a starter file for product logo designs for designer who's more comfortable with Figma to experiment with their logo designs. It is configured with the Figma variants. So as you can see on the right here, you have the shape where you can change from, say, iOS to Android to Amazon Alexa to a lot of other things. And then there's a glyph, which is the center, this icon here in the center. You can also choose to toggle on off the key lines, as well as the corner gradient, as well as the center gradient. And when you're finished with your design, you can simply go export using Figma's export function. And there you have it. The second Figma component is a series of text blocks, specifically a physical location address text fields, as well as a phone number text fields. Both of these are built with auto layout so that they are stretchable and can fit in screens of any size. The third component is iPhone 14's dynamic island. So if you're not familiar with iPhone 10, 11, 12, and 13, they have this structure on the top, the bevel structure, as somebody would call it. And in iPhone 14, that dark region is no longer connected to the top, but instead it's floating in the center like this as an island. Here I have the dynamic island component embedded inside this default screen here. You can simply come in, select the layer dynamic island, and on the right you'll see that you can change it from to different states. So in this case, it's in this default inactive state. I can change it to, say, AirPods Pro, or maybe this person is on mute, or maybe this person is charging his battery and it's showing the current percentage. And that is why it's called dynamic island, because the island can stretch and shrink based on what the user is doing in the background. There are two components that got released. One is the dynamic component itself. The other one is this entire screen with the dynamic island embedded. And the last component is the breadcrumb. The breadcrumb helps the user locate where they are in the current app hierarchy. We've noticed a lot of Eden apps have a very deep hierarchy. So for example, the first one might be the org, and then after org, you might have location, and after location, you have a site, and maybe buildings, maybe systems, and then devices. So to help increase your users' situational awareness, knowing where exactly they are in the navigation tree, some applications might benefit from using this breadcrumb feature.
And that's it. To recap, today we talked about new guidelines for app logos, UI design audits, and buttons, a Hall of Fame page featuring Eden apps designed and developed using Brightlayer UI, 4 new Figma components that help you design and prototype faster and faster. My name is Huayuan, and I will see you next time. Bye.